YouTube, so I'm back with another one. I'm recording this separate because I forgot to do the intro to the video, but I did get my subs installed and my amp in the truck. Ooh. So I got my amp, sub, and everything installed. It's sounding good, beating good. It's been about a week, so they done broke in. So I'll show y'all my amp settings. Real quick, and then I'll play some copyright free music and let y'all hear what it sound like. And then yeah, y'all enjoy the video. Alright, so my first step, I'm not even sure if this is the right step, but before I do anything, I got a 16-foot board, MFD from Home Depot. I just got them to cut it down to 14 inches across and 8 inches wide. So this gonna be what I mount the actual sub. This is what I'm gonna be mounting the amp to. Now you can see I still got a lot of board left over, so I just covered it up just in case. I need to use this board for something else or anything like that. I don't want to mess it up, so I'm gonna start with priming it. Well, I'm gonna sand it down first, and then I'm gonna prime it, and then I'm gonna spray it with truck bed liner. And then this is gonna be what I mount my amp to. So that's gonna be the first step. I'll show y'all what it look like when I'm done with all of that. So I just got a little hand sander. I think this one is a 180 or 200 grit on Harbor Freight Bauer. So first what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit all around the edges. As you can see, like with this MFD, like it's real fuzzy on the edges. So I'm gonna just go down all the edges, round these out a little bit. Oh, you can see it very good right there. You see how wavy that is? So I'm gonna just sand this all down around the edges and make sure it's all nice and flat. And then I'm gonna hit it with that primer. I'll show y'all what that look like in a second. All right, so I sanded all the way around the edges and one good layer off the top side, and then sprayed it down with primer. I'm gonna let that dry, flip it over, and do the same thing on the other side. Make sure to get all them edges all the way around. Should look something like that. So it's a quick dry primer. I think it only take about 10 minutes for it to be dry enough. At least flip it over, do the other side, and then we'll come back with that truck liner and show y'all what that look like. All right, so I probably should have did this part before I actually primed the board, but it is what it is. So what I did is I just went on ahead and first of all, I got the board cut down. I just got a MFD. I got the board cut down to 14 across and 8 up and down. And that's perfect for this setup. So what I'm doing now is I got the amp exactly where I want it mounted at. And then what I did is I just went around where the hose is and went ahead and made my marks. And what I also did is I marked where I'm gonna be mounting this board to the back of the cab. So I marked where I'm gonna drill my holes at to get the board mounted up and where I'm gonna get the amp mounted at. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that in there, and I'm gonna show y'all what it look like. What I'm gonna do is drill out the holes first, then I'm gonna spray truck bed liner over it and give it a nice finished look. Then I'm gonna come back and mount the amp, and I'll show y'all what that look like. All right, so got my hose taped up. The hose to mount the amp, and then the hose to mount it. So I changed my mind. I think I'm gonna just mount it to the side of the box instead of on the truck cab. And I'm just using some Rust-Oleum truck bed coating. After I primed it, rough primed it, as you can tell. Get this truck bed coating on there, let that dry. I think it needs 24 hours. And then I'll show you what it look like once I get the amp mounted on there. Alright, so I got 2 coats on there. That look pretty good. I was thinking about doing a third, but I'll let it dry and see. And then I'm probably just gonna do like 1 light coat on the back. But yeah, so show you what it look like when it dry up, and go ahead and get that amp mounted on there. So I almost forgot to get a video when I started. So while the amp mount is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and get these speakers hooked up. So this is what I got. I'm running the Scott Audio VSD10s D4. These are shallow mounts. And then I got this box from NVX, and I'll leave the link to everything in the description. It took a long time to find a box that fit in the extended cab for 2 subs, so definitely want to check them out. Solid box. And then I'm running the Scott Audio Premium Amplifier wiring kit. I went with the 4-gauge 1500 watt. And then I just got, some strippers, cutters, some nails and washers to get everything mounted in. But yeah, so pretty much all Scott Audio, and the amp is also Scott Audio. So yeah, I'll show you how to do the wires. I'm gonna be running these in parallel. So basically the 4 ohms, it's got dual voice coils. So I'm gonna connect these positive to positive, negative to negative, then get them in the box, and connect the positive to positive, negative to negative on the terminal cups. I'll show y'all what that look like. All right, so I'm going with the 16 gauge speaker wire. This is what came in the kit. So again, blue is gonna be positive. This whitish gray is gonna be negative. And I'm just going positive to positive and negative to negative. And then I'll show you what to do after that. All right, so I got my wires cut. You wanna make sure you cut them the same size. So what I do is just cut one and then, measure it up with the long line. And then just make sure it's cut evenly. So now I got my wires. Go ahead and get those in. All right. So it should look something like this. You got positive, run into your positive, and your negative, run into your negative. So now my 4 ohm voice coils is now 2 ohms. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take positive and a negative and run it whichever side is closest to the terminal cup. I think it's on this side, but I'm gonna measure it up and see whichever side is closest to. I'm gonna run the positive and the negative from there to the terminal cup. I'll show y'all what that look like in a second. All right, so now you should have something like this. Went ahead and ran my positive to positive, negative to negative, and then I added another wire to the positive and another one to the negative, making sure I'm, staying color coordinated, staying consistent. And then I added these connectors to the other side. So these will slide onto these terminal cups right here. See? So that's gonna be my negative, that's gonna be my positive, and then I'll be able to hook up out here to the amp. And I'm gonna do the same exact thing on both sides. So each one got their own terminal. So I'm gonna get that done, and then I'll show you, well, I guess I'll show y'all what it look like when I actually start mounting the subs to the box. But that's the last step. So same thing on both sides. Positive to positive, negative to negative, and then get you a positive and a negative to connect to the terminal cups, and you're good to go. I'll show you what it look like in a minute. All right, so it should have something like this. Looking into there. So now we just gotta drop the speaker down in there. And it should be good. Do the same thing on the other side. So it should look something like this when you're done. I just gotta line my holes up. Look about right there. And drill them in. Some wood screws. I think drill them in is I think it's these. Number 8, 1 inch. I'm pretty sure it's these. I'll double check. It might be 1.5. I'll double check and I'll let y'all know. All right. So when you get done with both sides, have something that look like that. And just gotta drill them in. Looking good. It's a tight fit. So if you do go with this setup, with this box and these subs, just make sure when you putting it in, cause you connected them wires for the 2 voice coils, so it makes it bulge out a little bit. And I didn't want to use shorter speaker wire because, you know, I use just enough to where, you know, it hangs a little bit, don't have no tension on it. So just that side where it bulges a little bit, put that side in first, and then you'll feel it it'll ease itself in there. But it is a tight fit. They fit snug, look good. Happy so far. Hoping I go to crank it up, they fire right up. The wiring should be good. So now it should just be positive and negative on each terminal cup, straight into the amp. The amp does have 2 terminals. I got 2 positive, 2 negative. So from here, it should be plug and play. So get it in there, let's see what's going. All right, so this how it came out. We're gonna call this good. See, well, I had tape over these holes, the mounting holes for the amp, and then also the mounting hole to get it onto the box. So I pulled the tape off, a little bit of that truck liner came off, but hey, we're gonna call this good, we're gonna run it. All right, so we got the subs locked down. Praying everything is wired up right, so we ain't gotta undo all of this. But these are screws I used. I used number 8, 1 1/4 inch to mount the subs. So now the subs are good and mounted. So next step is go ahead and get the box in the truck. I'm gonna mount the amp to the side. I don't know which side is the driver's side because it's upside down right now, but whichever one of these sides is the driver's side, I'm gonna mount it to the side. I'm gonna mount it to the side. Whichever one of these is the driver's side. It's upside down and turned around right now. So don't think I'm slow. I just this is the back side. This is the back side right there, and this the front side. No. See, this is where I get confused at, because I think this is actually the back side because it got that hump. So I think this is the back side, that's the front side, but it's also upside down. So I could be wrong. But either way, y'all get what I'm saying. The amp is gonna be mounted to whatever side is the driver's side. Everything is wired up good. So the last thing I have to do is just cut some speaker wire for my positive, which is blue, negative, which is white. They're gonna come out of there and go straight to the amp. And then we'll do the wiring for the amp, get the power cord ran, the ground cord, the RCAs. We'll get all that ran once we get it installed. So the subs wired up, subs in the box, they not going nowhere. Just ready to go in the truck and finish the job. So I'll show y'all what the next step is. All right, so this is what I'm gonna use to mount the board to the side of the box. So I got number 10, 2.5 inch, and then I got 1/4 inch inner diameter, 1 inch outer diameter fender washers, and I'm using 1/2 inch spacers, so just some little nylon spacers. These is gonna go between the board and the box, so that's gonna give it a little breathing room. Okay, so number 10, 2.5, 1/4 inch fender washer, 1/2 inch spacer. This is the setup is board, or sorry, let me do it the right way. Nail head, washer, board, spacer, box. So that's the order, and this is what you need. So get your screw, put the washer on it, put the spacer in between the board and the box. It's easier to go ahead and drill pilot holes, which I already did. I showed y'all that. So when I put the spacer up to the between the board and the box, I already have a full hole drilled through the board. So my nail is gonna go through there, through the washer, through the spacer, and I'm gonna be drilling directly into the box. So make sure you do your pilot holes first, so that you don't have any hang-ups, nothing, get kind of weird or, misaligned or anything like that. That's why you drill your pilot holes first, so the screw already knows where it's going. So that's gonna be the next step. I wanted to give y'all the specs on exactly what I'm using. One of the things when I was looking up YouTube videos trying to figure out how to do this, people would just kind of do it and not tell you exactly what they're using to do it. So this is what I'm using to get the amp board onto the box. Number 10, 2.5 inch screws, 1/4 inch inner diameter, 1 inch outer diameter, fender washer, not flat washer, fender washer to give you more surface space. And then 1/2 inch nylon spacer so that the box can breathe. So that the amp can breathe on the side of the box. All right, I'll show y'all what that look like when I get it on now. All right, so this is the amp mounted to the board. So it's mounted good. And then these holes is gonna be my holes to mount it to the side of the box. Remember, we calling this good now. We calling that good. So amp is mounted. I'm ready to get this bad boy on the box. See what we get. All right, so I'm doing this by myself, so I wasn't able to record, actually putting it in because I needed both my hands. But as you can see, it fit real good. I don't have it wired up yet. I just, want to go ahead and get it in here. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mount my amp on this side. So I'm gonna mount my amp right here on this side. So, and as you can see, it fit good. I don't know if I'm able to do this with one hand. Let's see. There we go. So, seat all the way down. It still got clearance. So, and then the amp will sit right here. So, it fit good. It fit good. Y'all don't mind the mess. Again, this a work truck. So, but it fit perfectly. So you'll lose that, that little space under the seat, but that's fine. This a work truck. I don't have people sitting in the back, so my tools will be just fine sitting on the seat. But, so I'll show y'all what it look like when I get the amp mounted on there. Alright, so the amp is gonna go right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have these controls facing that way, so it'll be easier to tweak them. And then I'm gonna have my ground, my power cable, my speaker wires. I'm gonna have all that facing towards the back. So I already got my mounting points on here. You can see them. I got my mounting points. I got my spacers. So probably what I'm gonna do, the easiest way for me, I'm gonna just turn this over on the side and do it kind of sideways, just so I can make sure that all my mounting points is going where I need them to go. And then I'll just lay it back down. And as you can see, I got plenty of space. And then I'm gonna ground it either here or here. I don't know. Maybe that one, just so it's away. Maybe that one. That way it'll be coming from right here, and it'll just ground right there. And then that way, I mean, it's a work trick. Ain't nobody gonna be getting in and out, but just in case I have somebody getting in, I don't know. I could go either there or there, but I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna clean up that bracket, and then I'm gonna just mount it. I'm gonna ground it right there. Then run my power wires that way. Run my RCA wires the other way. But I'll show y'all here in a second. Let's get it. Alright, I'm trying to do the step by step, but I'm running out of daylight, so I'm gonna just hurry up. But so see, I started the mounting screws, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just get it lined up on here with the spaces in between each one, and then go ahead and snug it up. And I'll just show y'all what it look like after. Like I said, I'm trying to do the step by step, but I'm running out of light, so I'm gonna just hurry up and get it done. These are spacers I'm using. I'm gonna just put one on each corner, 1/2 inch nylon spacer. I'll show you what it look like when I get it mounted up. Alright, so again, I'm running out of daylight. Got a little bit of space between them, make sure the airflow stay good. I got my spacers as close as I could, but it's 30. That ain't going nowhere. So again, we're gonna call that good. It's probably about as far as I can get for the day. So what I'm gonna do is tomorrow. Let's see. It's gonna be coming from right here, so I'll probably just do the ground to that one since it's the closest one. So we'll run that, and then we'll run the power down through there, and then we'll run the RCAs and the remote off the other side. There we go. We mounted in there good. I'll finish it up tomorrow. So I've just been out here working and just completely forgot to record, but made a lot of progress. So I can at least, I guess, just tell y'all what I've done so far. It's pretty simple. So I got my positive and negative, and my positive and negative on the terminal cups. I ran them and twisted them together at the ends. Because I noticed when I was working on it, this screw right here is missing. So I just put them together and put both in one positive, both in one negative. Tug on them, make sure it's all secure, everything's good. I did run into one little issue with my the remote wire, this screw. I ended up stripping it, so just be careful with that. So I just got a temporary fix in that right now. I just attached the remote wire to another piece of primary wire I already had, jammed it down in there, and just cranked it as tight as I could. it's holding pretty snug, but that's just a temporary fix. I'm gonna have to get that strip screw out of there. So just be careful when you tighten these down, because they strip very easily. And this is my ground wire. Got that in there. So next I'm gonna do my power wire. Get that in here, and then that'll be everything. Once I do that, then it'll just be running everything where it's going. I'm gonna run the power line down this side, and then everything else is gonna be ran down the passenger side. Excuse the mess. That's everything that was under the seat. So I'm gonna ground it either here or there's another stud right there sticking up. I might ground it there. I don't know. I'll figure out where I'm gonna ground it at. But yeah, figured I'll at least give an update. Show y'all what it looked like when we hooked up. All right, so almost done. I got the new terminal attached to the top battery post. Remember, before you do any of this, you want to disconnect your negative so you don't blow nothing. So I added a new terminal to the top post. And what I'm gonna do is unscrew one of these and get this power cord down in there. And then I got it ran through this grommet down here by the brake booster. I tried to cut a hole in it. You can see I tried to cut a hole, but it's sealed on the other side and I didn't want to guess. So I just kind of pushed it to the side and wedged it down in there. Pretty secure. So we're gonna run it. We're running it. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut this somewhere up here. I'm gonna cut it somewhere up here and add that fuse. You want to keep the fuse close to the battery. So I'm gonna cut this up here somewhere. Maybe give it just enough to where it's connected, and then cut it. And then add my fuse. Figure out somewhere to mount it up here. But yeah, so run it through that firewall, and then it comes out. It come out right up in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. There it is. So it comes out right up in there. And I was pushing it through, and I didn't even realize I couldn't see it. It was already coming through, and I was still trying to jam it, but it was already coming through. You just gotta kind of get it and fish it out. So I'm gonna take this panel off here and run it behind here all the way down to the box. And then at that point, just gotta mount or take the panel off, put the RCA wires and the remote wires, and we should be knocking. So go ahead and finish up. I know the video been kind of cutting in and out, but I'm trying to do this by myself, and it's a little tedious by yourself, but I want to show y'all how to get it done. So that's where we at now. We got the power cable ran. I grounded it here. I grounded it right here under this bracket. I sanded that down real good and grounded it there. And then I used RTV silicone. That's what you see around there to seal it. Because I did have to use a self-tapper. That bolt is way too big, and I didn't want to go get a new ring terminal, so I just used the self-tapper and put it right next to that bolt, sanded that metal down real good, put it right next to that bolt, and then I just used some RTV to seal it on top and up under it to make sure no water get in it. So, kind of rigged, but you know, it'll work. So we get all this hooked up, then we'll put the seat back down, get that bracket back connected, and then we should be beating. All right, so this is the last part for the battery. So as you can see, we got plenty of power wire left. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it. Cut it just so it's long enough for what I need. And then it'll be the cut in strip and then going into here, and then the other side with the ring terminal coming out the other side, going to the battery post. So basically it's gonna be like this, with the wire coming in on either side. So it's gonna be like that. And we wanna keep this close to the battery. So, I don't know. I probably mount it somewhere along here. Yeah, I probably mount it somewhere right in there somewhere. You know, honestly, because it's so thin, I probably just use like a 3M Velcro strip or something. And just mount it like, I don't know. Maybe right there. Mount it right there. So that way it's close to the battery. And it's secured, it ain't gonna go nowhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that cut. I wish I had a camera person with me, but I don't. So I just gotta do it all this way. But I'm gonna get that to show you what it looked like when it's done. All right, so you just wanna be real careful when you're doing this. Make sure you disconnect your negative terminal. This is what it's gonna look like. And then like I said, I'll probably just get something and mount it in right there. It ain't gonna go nowhere. All right, so got everything hooked up. We're running good, we getting good power. We're not going in protect mode. Trying to think of anything I can. So when you get your head unit out, I got a Boss audio, so I know some of them is gonna be set up different, but mine is just literally, it's just 2 RCAs right there, and then your that's your remote wire. So I ran everything through the glove box, and then behind here, and came out right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this put back in, and then I gotta figure out where I'm going to put the bass knob. I think what I'm gonna do is kind of the same way while I ran this wire right here for the CarPlay. I'm probably gonna shoot the bass knob out through there and mount it, I don't know, somewhere over here. But yeah, it's working good, sounding good. So hopefully I explained it right. I know this is one of them things that, you know, it can be a little tricky, but you can do it. You can get it done. I think the hardest part for me, honestly, was sourcing this box and getting the power cord through the firewall. Other than that, everything else was pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So yeah, again, y'all, don't mind the mess. I've been working in here and I needed to get this done. So, but yeah, it's hooked up. We beating good. So drop it in the comments, man. Let me know, what could I have done differently? How did you do yours? Yeah, I know this could be a little bit more neater. I'll probably end up cleaning it up later. It's just where that ground is at was a little weird. So, but other than that, man, install went well. Install is complete. We now are beating good. We get this bass knob installed, and then yeah, we'll be good to go. All right, man. See y'all on the next one. All right, so these are my amp settings right here. So I got the gain about 65%, the low pass filter about halfway, and then I got the subsonic all the way down. So I did put my bass boost on. You don't need it, but I put it on. It run good. It don't get hot or nothing. So let's play some copyright free music so y'all can hear what it sound like.